let's face it, when we have to get a physical examination at the doctor's office, that can be one of the most uncomfortable moments of our lives. My takeaway, quite frankly, is that the experience is even worse when you're having to get one for a job. I did not like it at all. It was so uncool. It was so uncomfortable. Y'all know what I'm saying? But you know what? Even in the midst of being uncomfortable, God taught me something that was so important and vital for me to learn. And I think it might be a blessing for you as well. Stay tuned. It's about to start. You know, I recently had to get a physical examination for my current job, and quite frankly, it just was not pleasant. I mean, the nurses had to squeeze, poke, prod, push, and pull me so that I could be tested on the level that is required for my job, right? Um, I just think, isn't it so crazy that you got to go through so much just to qualify for a promotion? You know? I mean, isn't it kind of funny that just to think that it takes all of this just to get a result? Then I had to take the eye test. God help me on that. I really realized at that point that I was not as young as I used to be. No. I had the eye test and it was grueling for me. I hadn't had an eye test since I can't tell you when, because I remember my eyes were so good at one time. However, it was at this moment that God would teach me something about life that would change my heart forever. Now, I must admit that I can't remember the last time I had my eyes checked prior to this physical examination. You know, it's like I said earlier. And boy, again, I'm just not as young as I used to be. That was quite apparent. You know, the nurse had to stand me at a point. It looks like it was maybe about 8 to 10 feet away. Like, what am I going to do with 8 to 10 feet away, right? Like, I want to tell her, look, I'm 40, not 12, right? Nonetheless, this was a requirement for the job that I've been called to do. One eye could see pretty well, while the other needed prayer, fasting, and supplication. You know, it was so frustrating for me just to see that I wasn't who I was before. Quite frankly, I began to be mad at myself. I did. I was frustrated. And I said stuff like I should have taken better care of my eyes. I did. I would say also, like, I've never had this problem before. Why is this a problem now, right? Out of all the moments of my life, why is this a problem and why now? You know what? The funny part of it is that I believe the nurse saw my frustration and said something that blessed my life. She did. She said this: "Sir, we are needing to examine how you were seeing the letters in order to take the necessary step to become better." Let me say that again. She said that we are needing to examine how I am seeing the letters in order so that you take necessary precautions and steps to become better. Now, for me, I expected the nurse to say that the eye examination is about what I see in front of me. However, she intentionally stated that the test is dependent not on what I see, but it is dependent on how I see. Well, why is this so profound, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. We find ourselves in everyday situations that attempt to squeeze, poke, prod, push, and pull us to drain our very life. You may be at this point feeling the push of a boss at your job who continues to give you grief even though you're doing the best job you can. You may be experiencing a pull of your friends who may be trying to make you feel less than just because you no longer do those things they still do. Come on, somebody. Perhaps you are facing an emotional squeeze of a relationship that you thought was going to work out, but that person left you. Or you could just be dealing with the prodding feeling of utter disappointment. And you wonder if you can ever bounce back from this. I feel you and I see you. But the supreme nurse, called the Holy Spirit, wants you to know that it ain't about what you see, y'all, but it is about how you see. Listen here. The boss who continues to give you grief may actually be preparing you to either one day run the company or start your own business. Through this situation, you've learned how to manage and treat others underneath your care. You know those friends that seem like they really don't care about you anymore because they say that you act better than them, but instead you're just trying to live holy? God is using that to provide you with a new community of friends and family who will love and truly support you. Love who you are, not what you do, not what you bring, not any of that, but love who you are. Yes. And at the end of the day, those friends can't go to where God is about to take you because they would be actually a hindrance to you. They would be a hindrance to your blessing. That person, whoever it is, who you thought would be there for you and with you forever, decided that they want to leave you. I know it's incredibly difficult, fam. I know that I can't even imagine the tears that you have cried. I know it's greatly difficult. But God is using this event. I believe that God is using this event to grow your relationship with Him. And listen, through this, He is preparing you for the most joyful moments that are yet coming to you. Yes. Sometimes God has to remove those people from your life because they are not good for you. And He truly wants you to experience true happiness. Yes, I believe that. Psalms 30 verse 5 says it like this. It says that weeping, that crying may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Let me say that again. Weeping, crying may last only for a night, but it is that joy that comes in the morning. Why is this important, family? I'm glad you asked. Please hear me well when I say this. This is so important because do not forget. Always remember that the darkest part of the night comes before the morning. Rejoice. The darkest part, y'all, of the night always comes before the morning. So I ask you again, how do you see? Do you see only the pain caused by the one who left you? Or do you see the pleasure that God will give when He blesses you with someone who will love you for you? So, do you see the prodding of you working towards a goal but haven't reaped the fruit yet? Or Do you see, if you don't get tired in well doing, pushing through it no matter what, you will reap. You will attain your goal. You will get there if you faint not, if you don't give up, if you don't quit, if you don't throw the towel in. You will see it. Yes, you will see it. Do you just see squeezing and pulling happening as more responsibility has been thrusted upon you? Or do you see that God allowed it to happen because he knew you were actually ready? You might not have felt like you were ready, but your feeling and God's feeling are two different things. Our feelings are temporary, but what God knows, he knew you were ready for it. Yes. To this I say that it is important to acknowledge both sides. I do. I think it's healthy. It is healthy to put a name to the face regarding to where you are so that you may process it in a healthy way. I think that is absolutely critical. Yes. However, these things that afflict us are only temporary. Fam, there are some things that happen in life that we feel that it is an attempt to kill us, but instead God allowed it to happen to heal us. Sometimes we can't heal from something we don't know that we're hurt from. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to tell you that at the end of the day, God is using these moments for our growth. Yes. You know, physical growth comes with pain. Yeah. Did you know that when your back itches and you scratch it, to us it's an itch, but actually the itch is just tiny pain? But it somehow becomes such a relief when we're able to scratch it. It's not about what you see, but it's about how you see. Physical growth comes with even falling out of baby teeth and pushing out adult teeth, so that way we can get the right nutrients as adults and to be able to grow. It comes with the growing out of old clothes and old shoes. It's so funny how when we have our favorite pair of shoes, and as we continue to grow, sometimes when you finally put your feet in it, you realize that you've outgrown them. That's life. There are some things that we have outgrown, but we still try to squeeze ourselves into it when God has called us to go beyond the familiar and into the unfamiliar. This is how our Abraham, all of our fathers, our patriarch fathers, they were called out from the familiar to the unfamiliar, and through that they were blessed. Again, sometimes it ain't that we're waiting on God. Sometimes God is waiting on us. And he wants us to grow. Physical growth comes, physical growth even comes with the pulling and the squeezing as muscle mass starts to develop. Because now your body, come on somebody, can handle more weight. So how much more is it with the spiritual body? God is cultivating you not to bear the weight you're not supposed to bear, right? Because God will never put more on you than you can bear. But he will cultivate and create spiritual muscles. So that way that God can prepare you to carry the things that you're supposed to, right? Maturing you as a Christian through his word, Maturing you as a Christian through interaction with people. Maturing you with building that relationship with God. This is one thing one thing I have learned in school that has always been a blessing to me, and I've been able to just really just put it in this perspective. There's two great commandments. It's love God and love people, right? Love God and go to the side and love people, right? So when we learn to love God, that's where it starts. We then learn how to love people. But look at here. When we learn to love people, we actually learn how to love God more. It is not by happenstance that you're going through what you're going through. God wants you to grow spiritually. He is working to give you the spiritual muscle so that way you can handle that blessing that's coming your way. He is preparing you right now for that blessing that is on the way. But he has to change your vision. Because maybe you haven't checked your eyes in a long time, like your boy. And maybe when you start checking your eyes like me, maybe you realize that one of your eyes or your sight is a little bit blurry. Maybe, just maybe, that with that vision, you can't be prepared for the job that God has for you. And that's why he requires the test. Without a test, there can be no testimony. God is preparing you for greatness. But sometimes he's waiting on us. So since it's not about what you see, it's about how you see, I ask you again, from your spiritual eye, is it crazy that you have to go through so much to qualify for your promotion? Is it kind of funny to think that it takes all this to get a result? There is no promotion without pain. The pain continues to show you who gives you the power to move forward. Victory is never absent of trouble. But it is with trouble you see God moving you, walking over troubled waters you thought you would drown in. Fam, I hope this has been a blessing to you. I really do. I hope that each of these bring a different perspective that you may not have had before. Definitely want to kick a shout out to a dear friend of mine, Quita Dobbs, for designing my t-shirts. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything. You all, if you like this video, if it's been a blessing to you, why don't you give it, if you'd be so kind, just give it a like. I would feel so blessed if you would subscribe to the video. I would be honored to continue to help you throughout your week. Again, I look forward to seeing you next week with a brand new video. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Y'all stay up. Remember, it's not what you see, but it's how you see it. Change your perspective and things will start to get better. God bless.